everybody, welcome to the Empower Journal, a space to create the life you want to live. I'm your host Dev, and we are here to explore meaningful conversation that empower and inspire. And in today's episode, we are diving into a topic that affects all of us, whether we realize it or not. But before, I want to ask this. How often do we meet someone and within moments form an opinion about who they are? I know it's natural to make such snap judgments, but what if those judgments are completely wrong? Today we will discuss how it's so easy to jump to conclusions and impact of such judgments on relationships, our communities, people around us, and even on our personal and professional growth. But before that, let me read out the question for episode 26, Practice the Pause from Anita Rajan. Hey Dave, this is Anita here. I have been following your episodes, especially thank you so much for the last episode on Mom Guilt Trip. I loved it. What I want to ask you is, have you ever been so quick to judge a colleague or client based on their initial input and later realized you're wrong? How did that experience change your approach? Okay, what's your take on this and how to be less judgmental? Hey Anita, thank you for the feedback and glad you liked it. Honestly, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, so I'm glad it's come up today. Let's dive into it because I think there is a lot to unpack here. Welcome back to the episode 26 of the Empower Journal podcast, Practice the Pause, the Power of Patience and Perspective. And today we will dive into the power of patience and understanding and how these things can transform the way we talk to others. So let's understand why we judge so quickly. To begin with, basically it's a survival thing. Our ancestors needed to access threats really quick. But in today's world, this practice often leads us to misjudge people based on our understanding only. In fact, in today's social setting and personal biases plays a huge role in how we perceive others. The early judgments can cause us to miss out on meaningful relationships or even collaboration because we actually do not take time to understand the person completely. And when we judge too early, we often rely on stereotypes, which can reinforce negatives and stops us from valuing individuality and also obviously damages the relationship. I would like to share a personal story that really taught me the value of patience and understanding. A few years ago, I met someone at a social event who at first came across as an arrogant and disinterested person. My initial judgment was that they were all self-centered and not someone who want to connect with. I in fact avoid interacting with them for most of the evening. However, weeks later, we crossed paths again in a different setting, and this time I gave them a chance to talk. It turned out that they were actually quite shy and felt uncomfortable in larger social gatherings. But what I had mistaken for arrogance was simply nervousness and a struggle to fit in. Over the time, of course, we became good friends, and I realized how wrong my first impression had been. And one more on serious note. Here was a time in my life when I made an assumption about someone that left a lasting impact on how I approach people today. Early in my career, I had a manager who came across as a very strict and overly critical person. During all our initial interaction, it was like that. My initial judgment was that they were impossible to please and working with them would be a struggle. I always put up a defensive wall and avoid seeking their input, convinced that they would never see any value in my work. As time went on, I noticed that other colleagues who regularly sought their advice were growing professionally and building a strong rapport with the same person. That was pretty confusing for me. I eventually understood that the manager wasn't harsh, but rather they had some high standards because they believed in pushing people to reach their complete potential. Very valid, right? Their feedback wasn't intended to criticize, but to help us to improve. When I finally understood this and allowed myself to be open to their perspective, I realized how valuable their guidance was. And of course, it shaped my career in a much more meaningful way. Had I been more patient and sought to understand the intentions earlier, I could have saved a lot of months of stress and frustration instead of assuming the worst. This one actually taught me the importance of not making quick judgments, Anita, especially in professional settings where patience and understanding can reveal a lot of opportunities for growth. Especially during difficult situations, these are more powerful than immediate judgment. By giving others the benefit of the doubt and trying to understand them, we can build stronger relationships. Although we talk about the importance of patience and then being understanding, we do not skip to make snap judgments. I know it's a human nature, but with a little awareness and an effort, we can train ourselves to be more thoughtful. I'm gonna share simple methods to help you in your probably day-to-day life. Do let me know whether it helps you, and here it is for you. The foremost important thing is pause before reacting. That simple pause can actually, trust me, stop you from forming a conclusion based on limited information. Please give yourself time to reflect before reacting. And the next thing would be ask questions instead of assuming it's okay. Asking open-ended questions can always help you to understand situation around and get to the root cause of the behavior. And one of the best way to avoid quick judgments is to listen more and talk less. This way, you're taking the whole picture before forming an opinion. Because we all have biases, right? So whether we realize it or not, it's important to recognize the things and understand how they influence our judgments. So it's better to listen more and talk less. And the last most effective thing would be when you meet someone new, focus on understanding them instead of judging. Instead of making those quick assumptions, ask yourself, what can I learn from this person or from the situation? This simple mind shift can help you connect better with others and better than the others. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode 26 on Practice the Pause. Today we have spent a lot of time talking about how we often judge people too quickly and the opportunities that we miss, and also on the benefits of being patient and understanding. So I just encourage all of you to be patient while interacting with others. Give people the time to show who they really are before jumping into conclusions. Because this small change can make a lot of difference in your life and in the lives around you. Thank you for joining me on the episode 26 of the Empower Journal podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and leave a review. And also, if you have any questions or topics you would like us to cover in the future episodes, feel free to reach out to me through social media or through our website. Until next time, take care, and until then, remember to empower yourself and those around you by leading with patience and understanding. Download Spotify or Amazon Music to subscribe to the Empower Journal podcast, and also be sure to check other episodes as well. Until this is Dev signing off, take care and keep juggling that joy. I'll catch up with you soon again. Nandri!